high-quality content keeps visitors happy. When it comes to content for your website or blog, quality really matters. Recent and ongoing changes made by Google, I know, there are other search engines, have focused on providing searchers with the highest quality offerings possible by weeding out sites that post content they've scraped from someplace else. Dubbed as Panda or Farmer, the change that took place around February 2011 was aimed at low-quality sites that featured a large amount of content gleaned from other sites. This change was largely effective at dropping poor-quality sites from search results, but many people were worried that Google accidentally chopped sites that were indeed worthy of inclusion near the top of queries. After the smoke cleared, it looked as though Google achieved what it set out to do. The way we were years ago, it was a lot easier to game the search engines. It was not uncommon to throw up a blog or website, populate it with articles you'd hastily cobbled together or purchased from a content provider for the price of a large fancy coffee, and get the site to rank pretty well, pretty quickly, with only a minimum of effort and backlinks. Those were the good old days, as they say, and it looks like they're gone for good. I, for one, say good riddance. Our focus all along should have been to provide our visitors with the best information and experience we possibly could instead of tricking the search engines into catapulting us into undeserved territory. It's true that everyone was doing it, but that still doesn't make it right. I have to admit that some of my early sites were affected by Panda, but way before the Panda wrecking ball came crashing onto the scene, I had already shifted my thinking. I just never went back to clean up some of those sites. I never really thought of it, because heck, they were ranking pretty well. The here and now nowadays I focus on providing the best content I can. Where it used to take me an hour or two to write an article, now it may take a day or two before I get something the way I want it. I don't feel the need to rush to get things posted like I used to, instead taking time to craft something that is useful and fun to read for my visitors. It's a little easier for me because I've always enjoyed writing, but if you struggle with that component, there's always another way. Outsourcing your writing could be just the thing for you. Here again, care must be taken to avoid the temptation of using content providers that churn out articles for $5 to $10 each, especially when you have several blogs in various niches that are all constantly hungry for posts. Don't get me wrong, some of these people are producing good quality content that you can actually use, but in this price range you're likely to get writers that are non-native English speaking, and the articles will be 500 words or so. Again, I don't mean to bash anyone, because there's a place for this content. I'll explain in a minute. Size does matter, in my opinion. Size matters these days. I'm leaning towards longer posts, and the typical size for me these days is around 800 words. Articles of this length will run about $20 to $30 on the various content providing sites, and well-written ones are worth every penny, believe me. Longer, high-quality content will keep your readers sticking around longer, offer them more value for their visit time, and maybe even entice them to interact and leave a comment, all things that Google places tons of value on. Give them something they can chew on, and they'll come back for another bite again, I promise. So, now that we know we should be offering our visitors high-quality content, what makes content good these days? Typically, I like to make sure the layout of the article is broken up a little, either with headlines or bullet points. This makes large articles a little more easy to digest for the reader, and in my opinion keeps them engaged. Notice that even with the design of the layout, I still have the reader's interest in mind, and not pleasing the search engines. Choosing keywords. I used to spend hours researching keywords that I thought would please the search engines, and once I had the phrases I thought I needed, I'd try to weave them naturally into the article, but lately I haven't been taking nearly as much time on that end. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that keywords are not important anymore. Far from it. I still choose keyword phrases I'm trying to rank for with great care, but I don't labor over it anymore. Instead, I spent the bulk of my time fine-tuning the writing, making sure everything is tight and right grammatically and that my message comes across clearly. I think I'm focusing my energy in the right area, and I don't think my rankings are suffering because of it. Outstanding outsourcing. A little earlier, I mentioned a place that's perfect for those $5 and $10 articles we all seem attracted to. The lure of a good deal is hard to resist. I bought content like this strictly for repurposing. I take these shorter articles and turn them into an autoresponder series or even make a PowerPoint slide show from them. While not cutting the mustard for blog posts or articles anymore, this sort of content is perfect for use, as I mentioned above. 2 points I'd like to make about repurposing. I hardly ever take an article like this and use it verbatim. I always tweak the writing to include my own flavor and personality. The difference is that it might take 10 to 15 minutes to get that done, and to create an article from scratch could be a 1 to 2 hour proposition at a minimum. So I use it as a time-saving tool. The other point is to choose the best quality provider you possibly can. Opinions differ greatly on this, and you may have to do some searching before you find someone you're comfortable with, but your efforts will pay off in time and money saved. You can always search forums to find names of providers that keep popping up as providing high-quality stuff. I find the Warrior Forum one of the best places to do this kind of research. They've been around forever, and some of the biggest internet marketers in the business got their start over there. In conclusion, to sum it up, our goal as website owners should be to provide the best possible experience for our visitors. That means keeping them informed, entertained, and coming back for more. Aim to have the best possible quality content on your site, and Google will reward you with higher rankings and plenty of loyal visitors. Separate yourself from the masses and rise to the top.